Howdy folks, Kirk and Jason here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Today I want to show you some texturing and let you make up your mind which one is best. We're doing a few windows here. Obviously you could see the windows because we still have tape on them. Now, can you get a close-up of this? Now this is considered a really nice finish, guys. The guys who did this window installed it. That's pretty nice, but can you see what I see? Well, let's go up top now. That's considered a really nice finish. Can you see what I see? Now, this one here, the fella was pretty ambitious. What he did was he did a scratch and brown. And had he only known that you could take a dry sponge float, and I'm going to show you this in a minute, and what he did is he put another coat over it, and it was called 2030. It's a finish coat. And then he floated that, so his is a little prominent. So when it's painted, it doesn't match as well, but it's still acceptable. It still looks pretty good. That's a 3-coat system when he only needed to do a 2-coat system if he had the extra knowledge. Now this guy, he's got it closer. His texture is a little bit closer because he smoothed it out. He did understand about floating it with a dry float, but you see the joints. He left the breakout. So the breakout, it's showing. So personally, I'd take that guy right there who did that. And by the way, guys, if you have something like this and you say, wow, it's not matching identically, this is just sand. You can take a trowel, a putty knife, and this will come right off. Even right now, if I take a trowel, for example, and I just hit this, it comes off. So can it match this? Yeah. Take about 10 minutes with the trowel and just the sand will scrape right off. Anyway, here's what I'm going to show you guys how to do. If you have this situation, okay, we just applied this sand, about an hour ago, and we're using a quick setting mud, so it sets fast. Now, when the average person does this, you do the 2-coat system, and then you put your finish coat on. Now, I'm looking at this and thinking, oh crap, I better quit talking so much and get on this because it's starting to dry, and when it dries you can't bring it back to life. Anyway, how you get this finish here, which has been painted about maybe 10 times in the last 60, 70 years. You take that float. Now this is bringing out the sand or the aggregate, and you just go over it a few times, and each time you go over it with the float, it takes the grit off, like say. And here's another thing too. If you don't want the trail around it where you see the transition or the feathering in, feather upward. What that fella did, he feathered down, so he pulled that joint out. You go upward, and over here you go towards the existing. I'll show you a couple other little tips too, because our sand right here is from a material yard where they have many different types of sand, and one of them is a clean coarse wash. And what does that mean? That's some really heavy sand, and so it gets mixed up in the in their little bins, and the tractor gets it. Okay, so I'm looking at a heavy sand here, and this is all smooth. So what I would do is I could bring this back to life maybe once more because it is setting. Now too, if for example, if I see those grains of sand right now, so I'm going to have to get those out. But here's how I do it, guys. To clean your float, the least amount of water you have in it, the better. So here's what I'll do. I'll clean it. All I want to do is get the water out, because the less water, it will take off the excess grains. So either you just go ahead and get all that water out, and again, the drier the float, now it will pull off these heavier grains. So you see that? It's pulling off some of the heavier stuff like that. Real simple if you understand that concept. And always take it from the new into the existing so you don't get that nasty little joint. And you come down on it. I'm coming down on it because I have to keep the joint. Now, because I went to a material yard where they sell a couple different grains of sand, and because the bins get confused, that's good actually, because it could prove my point. Now, you see, when this dries, you're going to see some of those bigger rocks, and that can't be helped because of the material yard. And here's what you can do. You can bring it back to life, or embed it. Take a trowel, push it in, embed it. And this is how, I still have some life here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. But if it turns white, guys, meaning like say here where it's lightening up, that means that's set. And you're not going to be able to bring out the sand. Right here where I have some heavy aggregate because of the place I got the materials, I'm going to push it in. I'm going to push it and bury it. And even right here, there's quite a bit. I'm going to push it in and bury it. It's kind of like concrete. If you want an exposed aggregate finish, you put the concrete on and you hit it quick. That will expose it. Here I got some too. So this is excess sand. You push it in, guys. Bury it. You just bury it, and the place is too big, and a big guy like that, just get rid of it. You just bury it. And now we go through the same process what we did a second ago. We can use the same float. It's got a little bit of water on it. And we can just pull up, because this is the finish I want. That's 2030, basically a fine finish. Now you see, I pushed in that heavier aggregate or heavier rocks. And because I pushed it in, I'm going through the exact same motions as I did the first time. I actually waited a little too long to hit this because we were doing other things. But if I wait an extra 20 minutes or I hit it too soon, I can still make it work because practice. Now you see, all that heavy grains or the pieces, now they're embedded. They're embedded in this coat. And again, I still do the same thing where I pull it upward to get the joint so you don't see the broken edge. And you just basically go over it. And you pull it lightly. I see. What I'd like to do too is I'll pull it near the tape like this. And if I get any big pieces of aggregate, sand, I'll just pull them out with my fingers sometimes. Like right here, a bigger piece. So just pull it out and come. And if I want this almost smooth, all I have to do is keep doing this and keep drying the float out. Here, again, I don't want that joint on the bottom, so I'm going to pull downward. If I pull up, I can create that joint. So we take it like so and just get it out. You see that? It brings out a lot less aggregate or rocks. And this particular batch, again, I waited a little bit long, but that's okay. It allows me to go into a little bit more depth and prove a point. Like here, big rock. I'm just going to squeeze that rock way below the surface. And I got a big rock here. I know the camera doesn't show this, but I see it right now, so I'm proving a point. And I'm coming down. So what I want to do is just bring a little bit of sand out. If I want to bring a lot of sand out, well, heck, I had a lot of sand out a minute ago. That's when you first apply it and you use a lot of water. See, this applies to for dash finishes that you throw on. Those are called dash, like the old saying, dash of salt. Same thing, guys. If it's too heavy, knock it down a little bit. Over here, this one here is what the average. It doesn't matter who you are, what float you use. This is a yellow float. You could use a green one. But this is what you're going to end up with like that. And then it's just a matter of knowing what you're doing. And if you do let it set too much, you will probably have to embed it again like this. And when you're all done with stuff, guys, here's what you should look like. There. I mean, the transition on the edge, that's good. It's good. Transition on the edge, and it's got just the same sand finish as this. This sand finish, you got fine, which is 30-30. You got medium, which is 20-30. This is 20-30. Then you got your heavy sand, which is 16-20. So what we do is we try to match whatever finish. And can you soften that up there? Absolutely. You need a heavy primer. Something like Sherwin-Williams, their primer is like glue, but you pay for that. It's like $80 a gallon. That would soften that. If you just want to spend that kind of dough, you just go over it once more with a roller, and it'll soften it to this right here. Anyway, guys, thought we'd point that out just because we're doing it. My name is Kirk, Jason on the camera. We thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Hi folks, Jason here, and I'm here to tell you something you probably already know, that like most content creators on YouTube, my dad and I are members of the Amazon Affiliates program. What does that mean? That means that we can show and link you to some of the most commonly used tools in the plastering trade on Amazon, like our hawks and trowels, scoops, floats, and some of the other things, our battery-operated tools for breakout and cutting, etc. Now, if you buy those tools from those links, we earn a small percentage of that. That allows us to keep making these videos and keep putting out quality content for you folks to enjoy.
Once again, folks, we thank you for watching, and I really enjoy all your comments.
If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below, and also if you enjoy what we do, subscribe to our channel so we can keep making these videos for you.
My name is Kirk.
And Jay.
We thank you for watching, and from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.